Powerboat racing is the Formula One sport of the world's oceans, and with speeds of up to 130 miles an hour, it's a competitive as well as a risky business. It's also a growing industry, and with Britain's track record, the spotlight has fallen on British crews and drivers. Steve Curtis is a throttleman and in charge of all the boat's control systems. He is a key member of a two-man crew and has been world champion twice. He is regarded as one of the fastest throttlemen in the world. What was it like the first time you went out on a Class 1 powerboat?
I couldn't believe the power. You know, I'd been out on many other boats before, but I couldn't, you know, in a Class 1 you've got so much power behind you, you know, something like sort of 1,600 horsepower, you know, which is like a fleet of road cars, you know, you line them up from here to Inverness, you know, and just, you know, when you accelerate, the force that you get through the water is incredible.
Steve has always been fascinated by powerboats. From school he went on an engineering course before joining a racing team as a mechanic. To gain more experience, Steve worked in America as a test driver. He began racing competitively at 18 and now represents the Italian Lamborghini team.
I think that what helped me was the first few seasons that I did as a mechanic. I mean, that really showed me from the bottom up. You know, I started waxing the boats, and then I went on to doing small mechanical things. And I went to, we were racing for Mercury at the time, then I went to Mercury to watch how they rebuilt the engines. And slowly and slowly I got more and more knowledge, and I tested more and more, I got more and more used to the boats. So I think really hands-on experiences, really where it's at to, you know, to get to a stage where you can race the boats.
Steve prepares for races by making sure that his boat is performing at its maximum capacity. Like a Formula One driver, he spends a lot of time in the workshop checking the engine for speed and safety. While he has an experienced team working for him, it's Steve's final responsibility to make sure his boat is the winning one.
I think actually to be a racer and just in the boat, you know, obviously you have to be, your actions have to be quite good. You have to have a certain amount of sense of feel for mechanical equipment, and I think a certain amount of, you know, adrenaline rush. You know, you've got to be able to, you know, have the, I guess, balls to give it some when you have to.
Powerboat racing is a dangerous sport. In 1990, Stefano Casaraghi was killed when his boat overturned. Steve was amongst those who tried to save him.
Must have lost, I guess, about 5 reasonably good friends. Probably more than that, actually, over the years. It's probably about 9 or 10 thinking about it. But, you know, it's something that you've got to forget, you know, because you're not in that situation. It was, you know, a lot of the situations are very unlucky. So, you know, you just got to sort of, you know, brush it away. And there's a good chance you'd get run over walking home. So, you know, that's the way you've got to look at it.
When Steve's racing days are over, he hopes to move into building powerboats, although he could continue as a throttleman for another 15 years. Many of the major European teams employ British staff as drivers and mechanics. There are also jobs as truck drivers, cooks and in public relations.